Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our YouTube channel, our webcast, which is Scared Sober Delirium Tremens. If this is your first time here, go down to the little red subscribe button in the corner and tap it, and that's going to open up our whole library. The premise of this webcast and the YouTube site is Scared Sober. It actually started with the fact that I went through real delirium tremens at 40. Delirium tremens are when you have immediate cessation from alcohol. You go into such a withdrawal that your body actually is going into shock and it kills you. That's what kills most alcoholics in withdrawal. And there are only two withdrawals that will kill you. Benzodiazepine withdrawal will kill you, and alcohol withdrawal will kill you. Heroin withdrawal, you'll wish you were dead, but you won't die. Alcohol and benzos are the only two that'll get you, and I was that close. So anyway, I was thinking about some of the material that we posted here, and Scared Sober. One of the things in recovery, and by the way, I'm not the face of AA, I'm not the face of NA, I'm not the face of CAHA, ADA. It doesn't matter. What I am is the face of recovery. I am a recovered alcoholic and drug addict. And when I say recovered, I am. The book tells me I'm recovered, but it is contingent upon my spiritual maintenance, which means I have to go to meetings, I have to work with others, I have to do service work, I have to live it in every practice these principles in all of my affairs. Otherwise, I'm going to be right back where I was, and I'm going to be fucked. And I'm going to drink again, and that's just a fact. So anyway, back to the point. We're going to shoot a 12-part series. This is the intro, so we'll have this, and then we're going to have a 12-part series. It'll be step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and all the way through step 12. And the reason I chose that as a kind of a neat thing to do is because Scared Sober, a lot of people are scared to death of working steps. They have no idea of them other than what they've either read in the book or been told by somebody that may or may not have done them successfully. And I gotta tell you, they're not hard. So again, as the intro, I'm gonna go ahead and read the steps for you basically in order. And again, they're not difficult. They're listed in this little book. I choose to practice the A program. I also practice the NA program. Again, I do attend CA and HA because I qualify, because I'm a real, not only am I a real alcoholic, I'm a real addict. In other words, I'm a real fucking mess. Anytime I choose to put any foreign substance in my body, whatever it is, it's gonna get me. But for me, for this real alcoholic, it always leads back to drinking, and that is the one that will kill me immediately if the others don't. So anyway, these steps are real simple. It says, in the book it says, if you want what we have and are willing to go to any length to get it, then you're ready to take certain steps. In the beginning, and I've been around AA and NA and all these programs for recovery for almost 3.5 decades. And I chose to read these words the way that I interpreted them that benefited Dirk. Not benefited Dirk to work the program, but benefited me to either not work the program or do as little as I could. And that was in the beginning. So when I heard that term, if I want what you have and I'm ready to go to any length to get it, which I am, I thought, then I'm ready to take certain steps. So certain steps to me meant, well, I'll take step 1. And then I'll take maybe a little piece of step 2. And then I'm going to skip step 3. I'm definitely not going to do 4 or 5. I'll accept a little step 6, maybe step 7, step 8, I'll digest it. 9, I might do a little of it. In other words, I would take certain pieces that I found the most accepting and easy for me. And that's bullshit, because the word certain, and this is straight out of the Little Big Book Dictionary, certain means know for sure, established without a doubt. Now, if I plug that in, if I want what we have and are willing to go to any length to get it, then I am ready to take steps that are known for certain and established without a doubt. That makes a big difference. So in other words, we also have to be fearless and thorough from the very start. The key word for me was not so much fearless, because I didn't think I had any fear. The key was thorough. And that meant getting everything down and doing a thorough house cleaning. And I tried it once without doing that. I was a little half-assed about number 4 and then sharing a number 5, and finished the steps, thought they worked, stayed dry for 3.5 years, meaning I didn't put any alcohol in my body. But at the end of 3.5 years, guess what happened? We already know, I got drunk again, and I stayed that way for years. So fearless and thorough from the very start. So here's these steps, which we make all kinds of, worry and work out of. And again, I'm going to tell you they're simple, and we're going to break them out. Step 1 is very simple. It says we admitted we were powerless over alcohol or drugs, and that our life had become unmanageable. Okay, we're going to talk about powerlessness and unmanageability when we do step 1. Step 2, came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. When I use and when I drink, I am anything but sane. My ideas, my values, my morals, my whole way and characteristics and the way I go about doing things are nothing but insane. And as an alcoholic, I continue to do these things over and over again. I mean, the old definition is, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and getting the same results. Okay, that's fine. I actually prefer a version, and this is a little original of mine, that says, we all do things we regret. When we're alcoholic and drug addicts, we just keep doing them over again. And that's my definition. So, we're going to talk about step 2 in depth. 3, made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. Oh shit, there's that God word. Okay, this is a God of your understanding, your own conception. I don't care, I don't give a fuck what it is. What is important and what I do care about is that you know it's not you. As long as you know that there's something more powerful than you, that's all you need. That's willingness. And it says right in this book and the other books that are based off of this one, that all you need to do is be willing to make a beginning. Okay, and we're going to cover that in detail. 4 is made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. This is the one that fucks everybody up. I'm on 4 stuff. I've been on it for 6 months. Oh, horse shit. That means you haven't done anything for 4 months, and then you're going to try and cram everything down the last night before your sponsor says you're ready. That's a scapegoat, and I don't buy it. But we'll talk about how easy step 4 truly is when we get to that piece in the series. Step 5 is submitted to God of your understanding, ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. That's a sponsor. It is absolutely imperative to work the steps with a sponsor that's been through all 12 steps before and has an idea of what they're talking about. If they do not, you're not going to get anywhere. You're gonna make minimal progress at best, and chances are you'll be set up for relapse way before you finish them. So get a sponsor that's been through the steps, and we're going to talk about that in detail again. Number 6 is we were entirely ready to have that God of our understanding remove our defects of character. All these defects of character. And I have some certain viewpoints on that, and we'll discuss that in that point. And just so you know, I spent more time on 6 and 7 than I did 4. And again, we're going to cover that. Number 7 is humbly asked Him, that God of our understanding, to remove those shortcomings. And I can tell you this, in the course of working my 12 steps thoroughly, the first time I thoroughly worked them, and I've worked them many times since, when I got to 6 or 7, somewhere in there, that was when the obsession to drink and use drugs was lifted. And that is a fucking spiritual experience for this alcoholic. Beyond that, never had a burning bush, never had a room filled with light. Some of us, it comes quickly. For guys like me, it came slowly. But it did happen, and my life has not been the same since. Number 8 is made a list of all persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. Again, we will discuss that. And then number 9, which goes hand in hand with it, and this is very interesting, made direct amends to those whenever possible, wherever possible. And then here's the caveat, except when to do so would injure them or others. And that includes myself, yourself. And again, we're gonna shred this thing, so it will make perfect sense. Number 10, the maintenance steps, as they're often called, is continued to take person inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. That should be done on a daily basis. 11, sought through prayer and meditation, prayer to that God of your understanding. There's no religion here. And that is, let's see, improve our conscious contact with God, with our spirituality, if you will, as we understand Him. Not as you understand Him or somebody's telling you to understand Him. That's a personal decision that's very personal and specific to you. And mine is specific to me. And I'll never jam mine down your throat. And if anybody tries to do that, get a different sponsor. Do yourself a favor. 11 is sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with that God of our understanding as we understand Him, praying only for knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. What is it to make the right decisions? And then 12, last, having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, and I guarantee you, as sure as I'm sitting in this chair, it will happen. Again, mine between 6 and 7 was the obsession to drink was lifted. There will be a spiritual experience, 100% certain. And the second half of that, and we try to carry this message to alcoholics and practice these principles in all of our affairs. That's it. Those are the 12 steps. And that last step, step 12, goes hand in hand with what we read as our primary purpose in any recovery group. My primary purpose is simple. One is to stay sober, meaning I can't put drugs or alcohol in my body. I'm okay with that. Two, to carry the message to alcoholics and addicts who still suffer. So there's the service work. If I practice these principles in all my affairs, which I try to do, it's very easy for me. And by the way, I do fall short, and we all fall short. We're human. We're human beings. But if I practice these principles in all my affairs, it's very easy for me today to do the right thing, which is do exactly what I did yesterday. This is a 24-hour program. I don't get bogged down in whether you got 5 days, 5 months, 5 years, or 84 for that matter. I don't give a shit. It's 24 hours to me, and I know that if I do what I did yesterday today, there's a really good chance that I'm going to stay sober until midnight tonight. Now tomorrow, I'll deal with it. That doesn't mean don't be proactive. I'm not stupid. It doesn't mean throw caution to the wind. But by doing these simple things, it makes it, sobriety is a very easy thing. And I pair that up with, again, my primary purpose is to stay sober. Okay, we can do that. And to carry this message to other alcoholics, which, by the way, is one of the things we're doing right now. Service work comes in a myriad of ways. There's no specific cut and dried way to do it. So, that being said, this is the intro. We're going to have 12 parts. It's going to be called Step 1, Step 2, Step 3, Step 4. I will put those out over the course of the next 2 or 3 weeks tops. We'll try and post a step every 2 or 3 days. And this may help somebody that's, one, never been through the steps, or two, maybe you tried working the steps but you weren't fearless and thorough. Maybe you didn't have the right sponsor to work them with you. Now, all that being said, this is how the sponsor worked with me that finally made it successful and make it a reality for me to live my life sober and live it one day at a time. And that's my hopes for anybody that's watching, anybody at all. My hopes for you is that you are able to maintain sobriety, put this shitty life behind you, because mine was horrible. And if yours is a fraction of how bad mine was, yours is really horrible too. And it doesn't have to stay that way. I'm living proof that this works. Again, I don't care what brand of recovery you choose, we're good. And that being said, I'm so glad you're joining us here. So look forward, again, this is the intro and will be labeled as such. Look forward to step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I value your feedback, because anything you share back with me will only enhance my program and my steps and how I work mine in the future with the people that I sponsor, and when I work them myself, because I work my steps every time I work with a sponsor, or rather a sponsee, or a new sponsor. By the way, anytime I change sponsors, I redo mine from the beginning. And that's neither here nor there. Some people say you only have to do 10, 11, 12. That's their opinion. What works for me and what has worked for me is what I'm going to continue to do, and that's just start back over at the beginning. There's no finish line. until the day I'm dead. And every time I do it, I take out a little more insurance on the fact that I won't drink today. And that is what's most important to me. So I want to say thank you. Our website, again, is www.scaredsober.org. We have a Facebook group that I would love for you to join. If you go to Facebook groups and search Alcoholics/Addicts Living Recovery, and that's capital Living Recovery. We have over 500 people out there that share experience, strength, and hope on a regular basis. I post every day along with dozens and dozens of other people. You can put a problem out there and chances are you'll get a litany of answers, some right, some wrong, but that's where it just comes down to using some good common sense and bouncing those answers off your sponsor in your support network. But we're here for you. We value your feedback, any questions and comments. If I have an answer, I'll give it to you. If I don't have an answer, I have enough resources to find out. So again, I want to say thank you. I look forward to it, and I hope you guys had a wonderful week. I look forward to talking to you in the next couple days. Dirk Delirium Dirk, signing off, and we'll catch you on the flip side.